Hello and welcome to our English news coming to you from Canal. First, the top stories of the news. The President of the Republic, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of the National Defense, chairs a meeting of the High Security Council. The sports complex of Bishar province is inspected by the Housing Minister with a view to speeding up the strategic projects for the region. Algeria snatches the award of the Best African Lubricant in the Euro Expo held in Düsseldorf, Germany. Welcome once again. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of the National Defense, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired on Thursday a meeting of the High Security Council. Tasked by the President of the Republic, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, received on Thursday the special envoy of the Ugandan President, Nalwisu Prosevia Grass. To this effect, the Foreign Minister was handed a message from the Ugandan President destined to the President of the Republic. The meeting was an opportunity to review the friendship and cooperation relations between the two countries, marked so far by the growing level, giving the two leaders particular attention. The Interior and Transport Minister, Said Sayoud, accompanied by the Hydraulic Minister, Tahar Derbel, paid a visit to Blida province to speed up the progress of the projects in the region to ensure supplying drinking water to the region. The two ministers followed a detailed presentation relating to the issue and ways and means of improving services. The two officials inspected as well a number of projects, notably water desalination projects. The Interior Minister, Said Sayoud, also chaired on Thursday a meeting with the governors, then enlarged to include governors, delegates and deputy governors via video conferencing, devoted to the local developments and the preparations being made for the new school year slated for next Sunday. The Housing Minister, Tarek Belaribi, was in Bishar province to inspect the local sporting complex meant to develop sports facilities in the region with a financial package amounting to 35 billion dinars. This strategic project comprises a stadium, a swimming pool and an athletics field. The Housing Minister highlighted the role of the national workers to take up the challenge with a progress rate of 20%, denoting the will and determination to move forward. A resounding success for Algeria at the Lubricant Euro Expo held in Düsseldorf, Germany. The Algerian product snatched the Best African Product Award, a telling evidence of the know-how and capacity to compete abroad, in the words of the foreign participants who highly appreciated the Algerian products. To the Austrian capital, Vienna, where a high-level Algerian delegation representing the National Nuclear Security and Safety Authority took part in the proceedings of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Algeria's representatives indicated that the state is ready for using this energy at the service of health, agriculture, water resources and environment. Taking the floor, Algeria's representative stressed the efforts being made by Algeria in terms of water desalination and commended Algeria's cooperation with the International Atomic Agency to serve peace, development and international solidarity. You are still watching Canal Algérie. Coming up in our news, a Black Thursday in France, with 1 million people taking to the street to denounce the austerity measures. Welcome back to our news. France was rocked by a massive day of protests as unions hailed the historic show of force and the government faced the tide of anger that swamped the entire country. Coverage by Afaf Belhouchet, taken up by Melissa Lila Balaman.
Slogans cracked like thunder under stormy skies. The signs summon up the mood. Macron and his brand new prime minister became the lightning rods of a fury that refuses to fade.
Nos revendications, je pense que c'est les mêmes qu'un peu tout le monde.
Our demands are the same as everyone's. First, Le Cornu has to go, but the real goal is to bring this government down.
Le moment, c'est de faire tomber le gouvernement.
That message echoed nationwide. Marches stretched from Marseille to Lille, Nantes to Montpellier, with Paris at the heart of it. By 5 p.m., the Joint Union Front, CFDT, CGT, FO, Solidaire, FSU, and others, was already calling it a historic victory.
Cette nuit sans fin du macronisme, on n'en peut plus.
This endless reign of Macronism has to end. We can't keep being blood dry for multinationals and the ultra-rich. My message to Le Cornu is clear. The street should write the budget, and if not, Le Cornu will end up on the street.
C'est Monsieur Le Cornu qui finira à la rue. C'est important aujourd'hui.
Today, workers are telling politicians and employers they can't dodge responsibility. Budget must be built, and it can't rest only on the backs of workers.
Qui doit être construit et qui ne peut pas se faire sur le seul dos des travailleurs et des travailleuses.
Numbers told the story. Over 1 million demonstrators, said the CGT. Just 280,000 claimed the Interior Ministry. 11% of state workers walked off, with far higher peaks in schools. 14 universities blocked, action on 60% of campuses. 110,000 students taken part. Even the energy sector felt it. EDF said output fell by the equivalent of 4 nuclear reactors.
Ce que ça veut dire, c'est que les Français ont décidé de relever la tête.
This shows the French are standing tall, fighting for dignity. The social pact is breaking down. Poverty has hit a record of 9.8 million people this year.
Cette année, on a franchi le niveau record de 9,8 millions de personnes pauvres dans ce pays.
Standing tall also meant aiming at the very top. The symbolism was stark. Bercy, seat of the finance ministry and the nation's coffers, was encircled by union marches, tense but mostly calm.
Il est hors de question qu'on continue la même politique.
We won't accept the same policies. It's outrageous that while France has never been poorer and 2,000 children slept on the streets this summer, it's still the same people paying the price.
On continue toujours à faire payer les mêmes.
The state response was massive, the largest police deployment since the Yellow Vests, 80,000 officers and gendarmes, 24 armored vehicles, 10 water cannons. Still, clashes broke out, shop windows smashed in Paris, tear gas in the air, 22 arrests in Marseille, 7 in the capital.
La Macronie aujourd'hui ne tient plus que par le fil.
Macron's system now hangs by a thread, fear and repression. It's scandalous that a resigning interior minister can mobilize 1/3 of police nationwide. We saw it this morning. High schoolers beaten and gassed, a bus depot, blockade dismantled, measures widely out of proportion.
Un dépôt de bus qui a été débloqué avec des moyens qui sont complètement disproportionnés.
The outgoing minister brushed aside the claims, but behind the numbers and the clashes, one fact stood out. Half of French people support the movement. In this climate of deepening anger, the government, already weakened, may not last much longer. A social crisis now risks mutating into an institutional one, against the backdrop of a fractured France facing mounting challenges.
From France, the UN Security Council, where Algeria's representative Ammar Benjama criticized the Council's failure in protecting Palestinians, reiterated Algiers' commitment to abide by them while calling the international community to show its responsibility. Let's have a listen to him.
Palestinian sisters, Palestinian brothers, be assured we will not give up. This is not the last time this Council is acting, and the international community must shoulder its duty. President, again, this Council failed. another scar of the conscience of humanity. Shame. Shame on helplessness. Shame in the face of genocide. Genocide unfolding before open eyes. Palestine is for the Palestinian. And Algeria, as President Abdelmajid Tebboune has vowed, will never, never abandon them. Not until the establishment of Palestinian state with Al-Quds Sharif as its capital.
Ammar bin Jama speaking at the UN Security Council, and on the ground the Zionist entities strikes on Gaza continue, this time targeting the Shaja'i refugee camp, causing the death of many people and decreasing the death toll in the enclave to 65,000 martyrs. Melissa Kabesh reports.
Cries of distress echo through Al-Shatta refugee camp following the latest Zionist attacks that left only ruins, dust and many bodies trapped under the rubble. Since October the 7th, the death toll in Gaza keeps rising, reaching more than 65,000 martyrs and no less than 165,000 injured, according to the Palestinian healthcare.
Dust covered everything instantly. When we rushed over, we found women and children lifeless on the ground. 50 martyrs are still underground.
No one seems to be safe from the Zionist war machinery.
We were in the tents when the airstrike hit. The building next to us vanished. We have nowhere to go.
Markets, homes and entire neighborhoods have become military targets. Over 4,000 bombs have been dropped in just a few days. The strategy is clear and has been the same for a while. Force people to flee, erase them from their lands.
By targeting our homes and markets, they want us to leave, but we will not move. This is our land.
Destruction, grief and intensive airstrikes cannot shake the determination of the Palestinian people, standing strong in face of this brutal strategy being adopted by the Zionist entity.
In occupied Western Sahara, the Sahara people face daily repression from refugee camps. They urge the UN and the international community to break the silence and hold the promised referendum on self-determination. Melissa Lila Balaman once again.
In the occupied territories where repression, violence and humiliation reign, the Sahrawi people pay daily for their fight for freedom. Students, activists and human rights defenders face arrests, beatings and arbitrary bans. From refugee camps, appeals are directed at the international community, the Human Rights Council and the UN.
We once again call on international organizations, especially after the Human Rights Council in Geneva recently condemned these abuses. The Sahrawi people remain united in defending their rights and urge global bodies, above all the UN, to end the blockade imposed on Sahrawi citizens in the occupied territories.
Repression has become Morocco's signature. Foreign observers blocked and a national journalist shut out. The goal is simple: hide the truth.
Moroccan authorities systematically bar international media from Western Sahara as part of a broader policy of human rights violations. It is an arrogant effort to conceal abuses and deny the Sahrawi people their basic rights. We call on human rights groups to witness what is happening. Our women are attacked, our children too, our families driven from their homes, but we will never give in. The struggle continues until independence.
In the face of repression, the Sahrawi people stand firm. Their right to dignity and freedom is non-negotiable. They urge the international community to break the silence and the UN to take responsibility by holding a referendum on self-determination, the only settlement to the Western Sahara equation.
To another story now. Outside the Hassan II hospital located in the Moroccan city of Agadir, protesters gathered demanding immediate explanation following a series of maternal deaths. Melissa Kabash reports.
Morocco's streets have erupted in turmoil after the death of no less than 6 women while giving birth in the hospital Hassan II. The voices present demand truth, justice and accountability. With the health system on the verge of collapse, Moroccans swamped the streets to express their fed-up, all worried for what comes next. The lack of material, personnel and the unequal distribution of healthcare services between urban and rural areas can only double the risks of such tragedies. To some, adopting the silent strategy means encouraging the death of innocents that could have been avoided, resulting to mistrust between the population and the health authorities. If tangible results are not delivered within the coming months, demonstrators warn of larger demonstrations with a determined population. What began as a grief is in fact turning into anger, especially with the little done by the high authorities to erase the sense of abandonment felt by Morocco's neglected population.
Sports now. The Algerian athlete Jamal Sajjati progressed to the final of 800-meter race by ranking second in his heat. The final will take place next Saturday, while all eyes are riveted today on Mohamed Yasser Triki in the final of the triple jump event. All the best for our representatives. With this, we come to the end of our news bulletin. Tomorrow, another day, all the news. Keep tuning to our channel programs. Take care. Goodbye for now.